Hello, welcome to Infinite Transcendence. Today I want to talk about the topic, we can't all be. So basically, it's an excuse I hear a lot. It's an excuse I hear a lot in real life. It's an excuse I hear a lot by the people with the loser mentality, not only online, but offline as well. It's this attitude that since we can't all be, we can't all look like you, we can't all have what you have, we can't all have your money, or we can't all have that person's whatever, that we shouldn't bother. What's the point of putting in the effort? And as a person, it's a mentality of a person who doesn't want to take any risk, who doesn't want to get out of their comfort zone or try anything new. They just want to sit back and wait for things to come easily. And when they don't, they just use the excuse that, well, we can't all be like that. And the reason I brought this up is because I was reading this particular article the other day, and it was talking about people who are athletic or in great shape or stars, or just people who took care of themselves to look great. And saying, some people are just genetic freaks. Some people just win the genetic lottery. That's the way life is. So why bother, putting in the effort? It's not fair. Some people are just in great shape, and some people aren't. Some people just have, better genetics or something in one area or the other, which is patently ridiculous. Because even though any two people are going to be completely equal, it doesn't mean you should put that effort into strive and overcome things, because your decision making basically is a big indicator where you're going to be in your day-to-day life habits and the life that you choose to engage in. Because these same people who say, hey, well, we can't all be rich, that person was lucky. That person was rich because he was lucky. He got lucky and he was rich. He had rich parents. He did something. That person's in great shape because they had good genetics. That person just has talent. They just got lucky. They were blessed with talent. But they ignore all the process it takes to get to that level, to get to that level of looks or fitness or skill in something, and they just see the end result, and they don't see the process that gets to it, and they just look at the end result, and they figure, well, that person just went from point A to point B without looking at all the stuff that happened in between. And not only is this really annoying, it's really poisonous. It's a really poisonous way to think. It's a really annoying way to think, but furthermore, it's very rampant in our culture. Our culture's become more and more of this entitlement mentality. That's not your fault. You couldn't help it. It's not your fault you're overweight. It just happened to you. It's not your fault you're this. It just happened to you. And it basically, what really bothered me is the article is essentially telling people that it was okay to be fat. Like, it's okay, it's no big deal. They didn't explicitly say it was healthy, but they're saying, it's fine just being overweight and out of shape. It's no big deal, which bothered me because it not only is extremely unhealthy, but it has a lot of other negative effects in your life, right? Versus not just how you look, but how people see you or treat you, health cost. If you're going to get sick more often, die earlier in most cases. And we have such a high obesity rate. I think just to tell people that is just irresponsible, because they can't all be quote-unquote pro athletes, have those godlike genetics. And it's basically ridiculous, because what these people are doing is they're taking the control of their own lives and taking it out of their hands, and basically, if they don't have the work ethic or mentality to strive and do those things, then it's because they just weren't lucky enough. But what about all the people who in other countries who are thin and take care of themselves and eat healthy and look great, and they have children, they have jobs, they have commitments? They're a lot poorer than people in this country. What's their excuse? What's your excuse for them? They just were lucky. Why are we the fattest country on earth with all the money and technology? Well, borrowed money, because we're in debt, and all the technology and information we have really freely available. Why are people still overweight? Why are people in this country in so much debt and don't manage their money compared to people in much poorer countries who have more savings and put away more money? It's because they just weren't lucky. You had to go out there and buy that item you couldn't afford. You had to go out there and buy that fancy car you couldn't afford. Now, there are some other issues in our country with borrowing money and debt and overspending and big government and laws, but who voted for that? They'll never be equals in life. No two people in life are going to be completely equal. No two people in life are going to be exactly the same. Some people are going to be smarter, better looking, richer, more talented, more popular, more athletic. That's just the way life is. But what you do in life is you take the hand you're dealt with and you make the most of it. Because a lot of people who succeed were not the most quote-unquote gifted or lucky. A person can be quote-unquote gifted or quote-unquote lucky and still mess their lives up. How many people have won the lottery and gone completely broke? I mean, most lottery winners go broke. They go broke all the time. Was it because they just were unlucky, or is it because of their habits and their mindset? Maybe the reason those people don't have any money is because their mindset and habits are leading them to that constant failure and consistent action. So people need to take more responsibility with their own lives, engage in the right habits, and do it little by little, and look at the whole process. while you were sitting around eating junk food all day. That person was eating healthier food. They were sacrificing that ice cream and that junk food and cake and cookies because they wanted to feel better and eat better and live better. Now, if you choose to live that kind of life and be overweight and eat the way you want to eat or smoke cigarettes or drink, you're welcome to do it. It's your own life. But look at the consequences you're going to have in the long run, because there's ways you can make your life better and still enjoy yourself. If you choose to sit around and watch TV all day while the other person chooses to exercise, if you choose to sit around and do nothing while that person's running up businesses and starting new businesses and taking risks, and you're sitting around, blaming others. If you choose not to save and invest, and you go out and buy things you can't afford while that person invests and saves, there's no surprise that person's going to be ahead of you because they're engaging in constant life habits that lead them into that place they want. If you're sitting at home and not meeting anybody and not socializing, and the other person out there socializing and meeting people, they're more likely to meet the person they like, regardless in terms of friends or dates or whatever, because they're going in there and they're putting in the work it takes to get there. They're just not sitting around waiting for things to happen. And I want you guys to do the same thing, and everybody, myself always included, is to always make the most of your time and to not just blame it on others and say, well, we can't all be this, so why bother? Because that's just basically giving up on life. And if you set yourself up for failure mentally, you're going to fail anyways. So what do you guys think of this topic? Do you do this? Do you know others who do this? Definitely let me know. Like, comment, and subscribe on our website, www.infinitetranscendence.com. That's the website. You can see the article, see the video, listen to the podcast, subscribe to the newsletter for new and interesting content, and transcend infinitely.